Thank you for joining me, Delna. It is an honor to have you for the inaugural episode of Revenue Beacon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Delna, you had an inspiring journey so far, and even today you are doing great things. Could you please share with us your journey from Tata Motors to establishing your own consulting practice?
That's a fascinating one. I get asked that a lot. Firstly, it's really about what resonates with you. What is your own journey? And for me, I have always been someone who's kind of marched to my own beat. And this is something that I kind of tell people. So for me, I have always planned my life in decades. It sounds weird. And whenever I say that, I mean, of course, the term plan in decades is more recent, right? But even when I was a young girl and I would look around me, I was like, what do I want to be in life? What do I want to do? I come from a very simple Parsi household. So if you come from a simple Parsi household, you have a lot of leaders that you look up to in the community. And I observed two kinds of behaviors. So I had one behavior where people were happy and took that for granted. And I was one of those people who kept feeling, oh my God, I have all of these stalwarts. What is my role? What am I going to contribute to the world? Sounds very lofty. And it was actually very weird when I was growing up as well, because I kept thinking, what do I want to be? The Tata Group is something that resonated with my value system as a child because I was exposed to it. So dad worked in telco, a mom worked in a bank. So we had a lot of conversations around it. Because I was very ambitious even as a child, they said, why don't you join TAS? And that's how TAS kind of became something that I wanted to join as a child itself, right? And the idea of TAS also was you get exposed to a lot of companies, you're part of it. It was a simple upbringing. So it was a lot about, work for someone. And it made sense. It kind of helped me tick off whatever was working in my mind as a teenager, as a 20-year-old. It was clear that, okay, I'm working in a great group. I get an opportunity to work in a lot of industries. I worked across geographies. So I was fortunate to work in Europe for 4 years. I went off to Thailand and worked in ASEAN then for 4 years, came back to India, did transformation turnarounds. And the career trajectory was very, very sharp. So I kept growing. I kept getting the kind of responsibility I wanted. I always put my hand up and said, give me more, and they gave it. They put their trust in me. Of course, forget about all the other things that would happen along the way. That's part and parcel of a corporate career. But I think somewhere at the back of my mind, it always was there that I wanted to have something of my own, right? And while the group allowed me to kind of do things which were big and impactful, believe you me, at some points I felt it was not big enough. And so this is a very ironical thing to say, because if you look at my practice, it's a tiny little practice in the size of the group, or forget the group, even if you look in the consulting world, it's a tiny little practice, right? But for me, it was always about the mindset. Am I getting the opportunity to kind of do more and more and more? And am I landing up doing the same thing over and over again? So I think I paid off whatever I had to pay off in terms of a thank you to the group when I did the final transformation. I was literally brought back to India being told, you've got to do this for the group. So I said, okay, I will do this for the group. And then I said, you know what, I'm ready to fly. And so it really, my consulting practice was something that kind of grew from whatever I had acquired as knowledge, right? From a transformation perspective, from turnarounds, from market entries, from, making businesses which were, so you see the group is really large, but people don't realize there are lots of pockets of things which are not going as well, right? So because I had the opportunity to do turnarounds and profitable turnarounds, I learned a lot of that. I also learned to do that across geographies. So naturally, my consulting practice was an extension of that. And I was able to now do this in multiple industries, right? So the journey has been something that's been very, very organic and smooth, because believe you me, my first book was bought when I was in England in 2004-05, when I picked up this book called Business Valuations and How to Start Your Business. And I joke, because I was a dummy then, I picked up the dummy's guide for it. So, it was really funny. But that's when I thought of it, right? So by the time you finally landed it in 2016-17, you have been kind of churning those ideas for a while. It's been seamless. They were some of my first clients actually came from the group. And it's just been an amazing journey because you're being true to yourself and you're not terribly bothered about judgment around you. So yeah, that's a very long answer to a very simple question.